Hi guys, as you can see, I'm dressed in red, so we are talking about love. Now, I'm going to talk about three types of guys who will cheat or will not cheat on you as a woman. Now, category one is guys who don't cheat. Now, these guys won't cheat on you ever, either for religious reasons, for principal reasons, for upbringing reasons, for whatever reasons, basically. They will come up with a reason not to cheat on you. And those guys they are out there. And I would say they make up maybe 20% of the population or 30% of the population. Now, those guys will not cheat on you regardless of what you do, even if you cheat on them. But those guys will leave you. Like they will pack their bags and they will go. If they have had enough if they have had enough of the abuse, enough of whatever is wrong with the relationship, those guys just get up and leave. That's the scariest thing about those guys. They will wake up in the morning, pack their things as if they're going to work, and just never come back. You'll call them, you'll try and find them, they're just gone, off the grid, disappeared, like magic. It's like you were dating yourself for the past 5 years. So those guys, one, when you're in a relationship with them, just make sure you do your best to make the relationship good. Try not to make it abusive. And those guys typically stay for the longest time. And they will not cheat on you at the same time. But the problem with those guys also is that they're not very fun. They're usually boring, down to earth, timid, quiet type of guys. They're not very exciting people. Because if they were very exciting, they would have a lot more women chasing them and they would have a much harder time staying committed. Trust me. So a lot of those guys are not very exciting to be with, but they will not cheat on you. So if your biggest fear in a relationship is being cheated on, go for the more or less boring guy, because majority of the time he's not going to cheat on you, mostly because he doesn't have, he has the principles not to, and also he's not probably as exciting as most women would want. Then there is category number two, my bad. Category number two is guys who will cheat on you because there's a problem in the relationship. Now, these guys, I would say they make up the biggest demographic. A lot of marriages eventually lose their spark at some point. Like in year 10 of the marriage, things become boring, things become mundane, things become basic, and there is, like I said, like a lot of marriages eventually get boring and get mundane, and what happens a lot of the time is that there are women who essentially will close their legs after a certain point in the marriage, and you find that they're not sleeping with their husbands anymore. They're not sexually as available as they used to be, and what ends up happening in a lot of these situations is that these guys end up sexually frustrated, and so because they're not getting any at home, they start looking for it elsewhere. They start looking for it in every other girl that they meet. They start trying to get back that spark, or they are just trying to get laid. So that category of guys, it's basically a situational type of thing. If his marriage is fine, those guys also typically don't cheat. But if his marriage starts to go sideways, unlike the first guy, they will go and find solutions elsewhere. But the first guy, like I said, regardless of how the marriage is going, they just won't cheat. Whether their wives refuse to sleep with them ever again, they won't cheat. But they will leave the relationship. That's the first category of guys. Second category, like I said, if the relationship gets bad, if the marriage gets bad, if they have no more sex, if there's nothing exciting happening in that marriage, they start to step out. Then there's the third category of guys. These guys, regardless, there's no pleasing these men. There's, like There's no pleasing these guys. Like, there's nothing as a woman you can do. You could be the hottest woman, you could be the prettiest woman, you could be the best woman on earth. These guys will cheat on you regardless. It's in their system, it's in their blood. This the third category of guys, just they cheat because they're trying to spread their seed. They're trying to sleep with as many girls as they can before they die. So if you're unlucky enough to marry one of these guys, just if he says he's sorry today, just rest assured he'll be saying sorry in another year or 2 years. Those guys are just dogs. Sorry to say that. But for them, they can't be helped. No prayers, no intercession, nothing. It's not until maybe they meet a woman who's a witch and she cuts off his dick, then maybe he'll stop cheating. But those guys don't even bother praying for your marriage. They are not going to stop. They're not going to stop. They'll sleep with anything and everything. So I don't know what category of guy you have, but feel free to take a look at this and examine yourself so you know who you're dealing with. So that's my opinion. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments.